Hey, I'm Eric, and I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out the video pinned in my profile. Today I listened to the 1994 album Throwing Copper from the band Live. I thought about at the last minute switching this out for another live album, another album from the band Live. Because once I looked at that track listing, I realized I'd heard like 4 songs off the album. All the singles, I Alone, Selling the Drama, All Over You, Lightning Crashes, which I have a personal tie to that I'll tell you about later. So I thought about, I thought I'd maybe heard half the album. Well, there's 14 songs in this album. So I decided to go ahead and listen to this album and just hear the other 10 songs, because that's a full album right there, 10 songs. So I went ahead and listened to this album. So, off the bat, let me say, so the lead singer and the principal songwriter, Ed Kowalczyk, I've always loved his voice. It just has this weird timbre and sound to it, and I've always loved his voice. And I also like the way that he phrases things in his lyrics and writes some of the lyrics he writes. I've always liked some of the pictures that he has painted with his lyrics. And that was really evident in the very first track on the album, The Dam at Otter Creek. It's a very, I don't want to say dark, but it is kind of dark. Just the mood, it's kind of a dark mood to it. Music-wise and lyric-wise, some of the pictures that he paints are just a little unnerving, I guess. Some of his lyrics, the pictures that he creates are kind of unnerving. Especially in I Alone, that's probably my favorite song from them, and I like the lyrics from that. I like how he sings in that song. So like I said, there's 14 there's 14 tracks on this album. The first 7 are stellar. It starts with The Dam at Otter Creek, and the 7th song is Lightning Crashes, and those first 7 songs are they knock it out of the park. That's such a great set of songs. The last 7 kind of lose their way. They're a little disjointed. Some of the lyrics are just kind of stream of consciousness, stream of thought. I didn't really get anything out of the last 7. They were just kind of there. I didn't really. They packed the front end of that album with so much good stuff that the second half of it just was not, just nothing there for me. Like I said, I love that first song, The Dam at Otter Creek, and there's one of the other songs in the first 7, Iris, is a really good song, and then all of their singles are packed into that front half of that. So I enjoyed the first half of the album, not so much the second half. So like I said, it ends with with Lightning Crashes, and that's really where I would probably, if I listened to the album again, I would stop there. But as far as Lightning Crashes, my personal attachment to that song and my personal attachment to the band in general because of this. I lived in Oklahoma City in 1994 when Timothy McVeigh parked a truck in front of the Murrah building and tried to blow it up. And that thank God I didn't have close friends or family in the building, but that was such a big event that it affected everybody in the metro area. I had friends that worked downtown when the building blew up, and they were hard to get a hold of, and you didn't know what was going on. And I had friends that were first responders that just for years after that were just affected by what they had to do and what they saw while they were responding. And at some point during the recovery and the recovery phase, days after, I don't know if it was a local radio station who did this, but they put sound bites from the local news and national news and survivors and first responders. There's even some sound bites in there, some sound bites from the radio chatter during the responding time. And they put those all over, they kind of superimpose them on lightning crashes. And to this day, I can't hear lightning crashes and not think about those sound bites. It doesn't sound right to me anymore because I heard it so many times. There's even some sound bites, over the song from the president when he gave a speech after it happened, and it just doesn't sound right to me when I hear it without the sound bite. I heard it so many times. So many stations in the Oklahoma City Metro played that song with the added sounds so many times that I don't, to hear it now on, like, when I hear it on XM or whatever, it doesn't sound right. And so that's, it will always remind me of that time and that event. And so that song has imprinted on me, and whenever I hear it now in the car or whatever, I'm immediately back to April 19th, 1994. So I don't want to end it on a downer. Sorry about that, but that's my personal tie with the band and with that song. Like I said, the first half of this album is monstrous. There's that seven song stretch there is well worth a listen. I would recommend that highly. It'd be up to you if you want to listen to the second half of that album. But anyway, if you're alive, so they have 2 albums before this, and I think they have a couple more after this. The only other thing I've ever heard from live is a single from the next album from this, a single called Lakini's Juice. I've never heard anything else other than that. So if you're a live fan and you have thoughts about this album or any of their other albums, drop me a comment, let me know. If you've never heard the album, or if you've never heard these songs, which I find it hard to believe that you've never heard any of those, but if you haven't, give them a listen, give the album a listen. Let me know what you think.